Hello guys, NautoAce here, and I too want to give my thoughts on the whole situation with, you guessed it, the Netflix Cowboy Bebop situation. So for people who don't know, but this has been talk since I think 2017 or 2018 when I heard the news before, and of course there was some problem with the production until, well, they finally showed the show in 2021. Here's the gist of the history of what happened, like how it all came to be. So first, I heard this announcement that Netflix and Sunrise made an agreement to make a live-action Cowboy Bebop. And of course, when I heard about that, I said, why? Believe it or not, it's why, but whatever. And then, of course, production was kind of slow because of the pandemic. Of course, at one point, John Cho, who plays as Spike Spiegel, got injured because from what I heard, he was doing his own stunt, but again, whatever. And then later on in 2020 to 2021, a lot of news coming in, and there was a lot of concern about the live action. And of course, spoiler, if you know what happened by now is, for people who don't know, is Netflix pulled the plug really fast after lots of negative reviews, negative comments, just negative everything about the show. And whether you like it or not, it kind of, well, it had it coming, and I'll explain that why. So one thing they did warn is that, the live action is not going to be one-to-one to the anime. Okay, kind of makes sense because, I mean, when you're doing a different medium to a beloved franchise like Cowboy Bebop, yeah, you don't want to some extent expect to be a one-to-one. Same goes with the Marvel comic versus the show versus the movie. Same goes with DC. It has to be close to the source material, but it's not going to be one-to-one. However, there were a lot of concern about the Netflix one, such as, we're going to change a lot of the elements. We're going to change some of the backstory for some important characters, which is not a good idea. They even say that, it's not going to be the same as the anime. We're trying to, remember, the anime Cowboy Bebop, there is a character who's supposed to be for the male and for male fan service, that one character. They're going to change her like completely in the live action. They even said that, the way she dressed is not going to be the same as the anime. Her premise, her personality will be different than the anime. And like a lot of the elements are going to be changed because, we don't want to offend the righteous wannabe. That's what I call them. We're trying to make it different than the anime, again, whatever. And to get rid of course, the fan service. Because one of the biggest one is Faye Valentine. That's the character I'm talking about. They basically gave her an overhaul. Yeah, I can see why people were like, hell no. Because if you know the character in the anime, Faye Valentine, a lot of people already talk about it. She is what people call it a female fatale, is that what they call it? Basically, it's meant to be a fan service character because of the way she dressed. Again, to some extent, you might say, why does she dress like that? There is a content behind it in her premise in the anime. Even so, my policy rule is not spoiler. Believe it or not, I'm not so much of a fan of the Cowboy Bebop. I know it's good because it had a lot of history about that anime series. I'll explain that later. But there is a lot of backstory about Faye Valentine in the anime of why she dressed like that, why she's being sexy. She's a female fatale. I think that's what people call it, but not apologies. But the whole point is that she is meant to be for the males, like, I like her, she looks pretty, I like her outfit, wink wink. And they got rid of that, and making it worse is they said, this is the approach we're gonna go, we're proud of it, quote unquote deal with it, which is not a good idea. And adding more fuel to the fire, the actress who played Faye Valentine in the Netflix one, Daniela Pinella, she was, let's just say, colorful to the fans, which is, I've seen a lot of people talk about it, and I do agree with what they say, and that is either do things or don't do anything at all. One is, don't say anything, keep your mouth shut. Second is, try to convince him, okay, maybe it's not what the anime is. You might not like it, but try to give it a chance. Be humble about it. Nope, she did the opposite, like a lot of people said, basically insulting the fans of Cowboy Bebop and basically telling them they're idiots, because that's what it is. And I don't know how even like the upper management allow that. I know probably First Amendment, but yeah, that wasn't a good idea there. Another biggest problem a lot of people have said, I agree, is the writing for the Netflix version. The bottom line is, just like to some extent, some game, The Last of Us 2, I'm sorry, but you know, it is what it is. There are sort of a political elements in the show. There were some quote unquote, a lot of people call it woke. There are characters being changed. Like I said, besides Faye Valentine, there's some other key characters were changed. Even Jet Black, an important character in the show, his premise was big time changed to what it is in the anime. There are a lot of elements that was changed that's not in anime. Again, like I said, yeah, it's not one-to-one, but when you put sort of this political element, that's not good. That's not good. You're gonna make people like, I don't want to waste my time watching this. And I mean, I watched it and I'm like, for me, like I said, I'm not a Cowboy Bebop fan to some extent. I do know the show, so some of the story didn't really get to me. And like, I had to look up on social media, on the internet about it, and yeah, a lot of people who are into Cowboy Bebop, they say, yeah, there were a lot of problem here, and that it's hard to watch. And of course, you know what happened in the end? There you go, it got canceled. So my thoughts about it, first of all, because of a lot of the problem, of course, how they present the show itself, how the people behind or involved in the show reacted to the fans, some of them. Yeah, it probably had it coming. Like for me, I felt sorry for John Choi, who plays a Spike Spiegel, Mustafa, who plays Jet Black. I felt sorry for those because they actually liked the show. They were trying to support it and doing the best they can to contribute it, you know, and said nothing about it. Like you say, you know, be the judge and think for yourself what the show is. But when you got like Daniela basically running her mouth and some people, the writers, running their mouth, yeah, you're gonna get something like this, and yeah, you get canceled. And then, like I said, yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I kind of felt sorry, like I said, for John Choi, some probably the people who basically did want to make the show good to some extent. Mustafa, I kind of felt sorry for them because, you know, an opportunity been thrown out because of negative comments, negative impact. But for the people who purposely want to do quote unquote woke politic element, well, you had it coming. This is what happens. I mean, what do you think would happen when you touch fire? You get burned. It's same here. What do you think what's going to happen when you're trying to shove your political issues? Yeah, and people don't like it. Again, there you go. So they're like, some of the people were blaming the fans, like, well, no, you got to blame yourself because you didn't do a good product. They gave you the green light. They trusted you, Sunrise, and you blew it. That's it. And then some people say, well, how come it's bad from the get-go? How come people had a feeling it was bad? Well, the creator of Cowboy Bebop basically said, I have no control. I have little control. So when you hear something like that from the creator, yeah, you know that there's something wrong there. So, yeah, I mean, it is unfortunate to some extent that there won't be season 2. But again, like, most people, they're not sad about it. I mean, it had it coming. It had it coming to a point that there are now reports that a lot of those anime production company are now reconsidering, like, should we do a live action based on our anime? And then some might say, well, the Japanese does it too. Well, that's in Japan. They have a different culture than in America. And of course, Japanese don't have political issue or woke issue there. So, and plus, I don't really watch anything that's live action Japanese. I know there's one I heard people say that was good. Classroom Assassination, from what I heard, it was good. Yakuza was good. Dynasty Warrior, actually, for what it is, it wasn't really good, but they had the elements there, even the song, but whatever. So, but it didn't say so. Anything that's live action from an anime is always going to be automatically bad. Well, the statistics say is 9 out of 10 is yes, it's going to end up being bad. You can see it there. There are cases that are good. Battle Angel Alita, I think that's what it's called. was good. I heard it was actually good. There was no political elements problem in there. It was just a good action movie from what I understand. Granted, the main actress with the big eye, that was just like, no, please. Someone said because they want to make it almost close to the anime, but that's way too close. That's way too close there. No, don't do that. But when it comes to the story, it was only good. It was actually good. Cowboy Bebop, the production was for a Netflix show. Yeah, I mean, people say it's like B-roll, cheesy, cosplay. Well, Netflix money versus Hollywood money, I don't think they're the same. Just my thoughts, but I could be wrong. But yeah, some of the costumes are like, it looks like a cosplay. Some might like look like legit costume. And then, like I said, there's also a consistency problem because, spoiler, in the end, yes, Radical Ed did make an appearance, and her outfit, again, looks like a freaking Halloween costume. I'm sorry, like a cosplay. It's like, that is one-to-one to the anime. What's the deal? But yet, Faye Valentine is not. And then another one that probably people didn't see it is the Bounty Hunter show. I mean, he only showed it in 1 or 2 episodes. The lady who dressed the part, like, wait, that looks exactly the same as the anime. Why is that one-to-one but not Faye Valentine? Like, with the first, I mean, granted, not a lot of screen time, but like, really, that's going to be one-to-one? So you gotta see that consistency there. Faye Valentine, okay, sometimes you can't really transition from the anime to the real thing. Some people say, yeah, cosplay, but again, it's one of those potato. I'm not going to touch that. But you got Radical Ed, that looks like the anime, cosplay, even with the goggles. And another, the actress, again, kind of felt sort of like, you had something there. She had like a 5-minute appearance, and that's it. I mean, again, it is what it is. Like I said, that Bounty Hunter show with the female cowboy, really, that's like one-to-one. Weird, but again, whatever there. Yeah, so again, it's unfortunate. So another one probably people might think is, why even do it? Why greenlight? Who basically woke up one day and just said, let's do a live action Cowboy Bebop, and why Sunrise greenlighted? One, exposure. Remember, like I said about Nintendo games going mobile? It's the point of exposure to get more people into whatever the franchise is. Okay, so Cowboy Bebop, maybe it'll help Netflix get more subscribers. Maybe there'll be people who don't know about Cowboy Bebop, who doesn't watch anime, said, well, what is this live action Cowboy Bebop? That looks good. Granted, if the story is good, and hopefully maybe to some extent that the people who are not into anime sees the Netflix version, say, oh, I'll check the anime, and then it's supposed to be a win-win situation. But again, Netflix won, too much political issues, political element that shouldn't be there, changing premise that it should not be. Then you can see why it wasn't that good. Like for me personally, I think for what it is, okay, but would I recommend watching the Netflix Cowboy Bebop? No, because they're basically 1 hour or close to 40 minutes, and you can't really bench watch this. And even if you don't know about Cowboy Bebop as of right now, no, you're gonna get lost to the story. Like, if you have Netflix, there is Cowboy Bebop there. It's also on Funimation. I don't know about Hulu. You can always watch it on YouTube, I know. But you get the idea what I'm trying to say, that just watch the anime and you're good to go. Don't bother with the Netflix. I know it's gonna suck, but again, it is what it is. And they say they're even gonna try to extend the story to some extent, expand the story with a season 2. But again, who knows about that? And speaking of season 2, another probably rumor people wondering, was there supposed to be or a plan of a season 2 for Cowboy Bebop? Well, from what I understand, and this is a rumor, a far-fetched rumor probably to some extent, is they're talking about it at one point and then nothing happened, so who knows. But yeah, I mean, it is what it is, the Netflix one. Yeah, so those are my thoughts, and with that, I'll see you guys later.